Namaste, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this session, How to Communicate with Angels. We start with a short invocation, and then we will begin the session. So throughout, if you have any questions, please feel free to put in the chat. If you want to share any experience, because we are going to share some stories and clairvoyant observations about communicating with angels or getting help from them. So if you have similar stories, please feel free to put in the chat or raise your hand and we can unmute you to share with the group so that together we can explore this topic more and um, ask help from angels more and more in our lives so that it makes everything easier and more meaningful. Thank you. So let's begin with a short invocation. Please relax your body. Close your eyes. Inhale and exhale slowly and deeply. Be aware of your whole body. If you feel any pain or discomfort at any area of your body, bring your awareness to that area and mentally say, I let go. I am not the body. The body is just a vehicle of the soul. I let go of any pain, discomfort in my body. Visualize your whole body disintegrate and disappear. And what remains is just brilliant white light. Inhale slowly and deeply. Exhale slowly and deeply. Now bring your awareness higher to your thoughts and your emotions. Just observe each and every thought that comes to your mind and fades away. Mentally say, I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. I let go of any stress, worry, fear, any lower emotions. I choose to let go. Visualize all your thoughts and emotions disintegrate and disappear. Any fears, worries, disintegrate and disappear. What remains is just brilliant white light. Inhale slowly and deeply. Exhale slowly and deeply. Now bring your awareness higher to your crown chakra and mentally say to the Supreme Being, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to our spiritual teacher, to Grandmaster Shuakoksui, to all the spiritual teachers, all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers. Thank you for all of your priceless blessings, for divine light, divine love, and divine power, divine guidance, help, and protection, inner healing and physical healing, good health and happiness, prosperity and abundance, spirituality and illumination. Thank you in full faith. Inhale slowly, inhale all the blessings. Exhale slowly and be aware of your whole body. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Inhale slowly, inhale all the blessings. And exhale slowly. Now please put your two hands in a namaste position in front of your heart. Be aware of the presence of each and every person in this session. Mentally say, Namaste, thank you for being here. And when you are comfortable, gently open your eyes with a big, big smile. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much again for joining us. So please allow me to share my screen. So today the topic is how to communicate with angels. And throughout, we will discuss about who are angels and some stories about them, some personal stories, because initially I was not convinced that angels do exist. And through certain experiments and practices, I discovered how we can get help from them. And if you have done basic pranic healing, in the book Master Chokoksu explains how we can assign an angel for a patient and so on. So angels can be invoked for help for different purposes. So let's begin. And throughout, if you have questions, please feel free to put in the chat. So first we start with some basic explanation about angels in general. Who are angels? An angel is a non-physical entity or a spirit found in various religions and mythologies. Angels do not belong to any religion or particular sect. They are truly non-dominational. So you may have heard lots of stories in different religions about angels in different spiritual schools. So basically, they don't belong to any religion or culture or group of people or sect, but they are universal. And we can simply ask for their help, and they will be there to help us in different areas of our life. And actually, invisible helpers are not only limited to angels. We will touch upon it a bit, but a great work of help actually is done by not by angels only, but by spiritual practitioners actually, which we will discuss a bit about that as well. So in art, you may have seen them shaped like humans or with extraordinary beauty, and they are often identified in Christian artwork with bird wings, halos, and divine light. So some samples here, but actually they don't have a physical body. And later we will discuss how they look like. It's just vortices of energy. And sometimes this energy figure, when look clairvoyantly, appear as having wings. Or sometimes if an angel is helping someone, let's say during the healing or something, may look like standing at a back or look like wings, but they don't have a physical body to be look like this, like a human figure with wings. But because of their shape in energy form, sometimes they are shown with wings, or sometimes it's just an indication that they can fly anywhere. So it could be a symbol of that as well. So some of the tasks of angels include protecting and guiding human beings and carrying out God's tasks. Most of the work of the angels is actually connected with different kingdoms, like mineral kingdom, animal kingdom, and also to perform God's tasks. It's not only to help or guide human beings or protect human beings. And as we discussed in the beginning, most of that task is actually done not by angels, but by spiritual practitioners or by students of masters, holy masters, and spiritual teachers, basically. But they also do help and guide human beings as well. Now, before we continue, a few stories. So one of them is narrated by Leadbeater, and another one is clairvoyant observation. And after that, we will also share some personal stories, and then we continue, so that for some people who are still here, maybe not believe that angels are there to help, these stories and some personal stories may give you some assurance that they are there, and actually we can ask for their help. So one of these stories is narrated by Leadbeater. It's about a case which occurred in London a few years ago, when actually he wrote the book. So, and it was about fire. So it seems in one of the buildings, there was fire, and all the fire, when the firemen discovered, they tried to help everybody to vacate the house. So everybody could escape, only 2 persons remained, and one was an old lady, and another one was a child about 5 years old. And the old lady got suffocated. But when the fireman, one of the firemen found the child, and the child was completely, entirely unharmed. So the child, of course, was terrified because of the flames and everything. But based on what the fireman narrated, he said, let's just read from his words, that when he reached the child, he saw a form like an angel, and his exact words are given, something all gloriously white and silvery, bending over the bed and soothing down the counterpane. He could not possibly have been mistaken about it, he said, for it was visible in a glare of light for some moments, and in fact disappeared only when he was within a few feet of it. Another curious feature of this story is that the child's mother found herself unable to sleep that night. The mother was not in that place. So the story is the mother had to go for a trip, and therefore he left the child with one of the friends in the house. And when the house got fired, they all vacated the house. They forgot about the child. So the mother, who was in another city, could not sleep at that night, but constantly harassed by a strong feeling that something was wrong with her child, in so much that at last she was compelled to rise and spend some time in earnest prayer that the little one might be protected from the danger, and might be the answer to the prayer that the child was saved from fire. So this was one story narrated by Leadbeater, and there is another one, clairvoyant observation by Hudson. So he's a theosophy practitioner, theosophist, and skilled clairvoyant, did a study of mothers during their months of pregnancy. He perceived angels helping the child's development in the womb. They assisted mainly with two processes: constructing the physical, etheric, emotional, and mental bodies of the child, and also inducting the reincarnating ego into them. Hudson observed further that these angels were agents of a great intelligence, which presides over and directs all material processes throughout nature. And he noted the teachings of occult philosophy relate this being to the feminine or mother aspect of the deity, of which she is a manifestation and representative. So based on his clairvoyant observations, angels were helping in the building of the baby inside the womb, and also to direct the reincarnating ego to use them in that process. So these were a few stories, and there are so many stories actually. And there is a book that we are going to study in September as our book study, which we do with Prana World, and that will be entirely about invisible helpers. And there are so many more stories in that book. If you want to read, you can go ahead and study that. Very, very interesting book. So these are some stories by other people, but I want to share one personal story. I remember many years ago, I think it was at least 10 or 11 years ago, when I just moved into Malaysia. And I remember after 1 year of residing in Malaysia, because the humidity is very different from my own country, one mobile phone that I brought from my country here was not working because of the humidity. The battery was spoiled. And at that time, I was somehow curious about angels. I didn't really believe that they may exist and help, but I remember I was curious to know more. So I was directed to a book. It was a small book by one of my friends about angels. So I was reading there, and after reading the book few pages, I thought, let me do an experiment, because in the book it was mentioned that you can actually ask for the help of the angels, and the help will be given, and you will see and you will get surprised and so on. So I thought, let me give it a try. So I took out that spoiled mobile phone, and then I was like talking inside of me with angels that if you do exist, I remember because the battery was spoiled, I couldn't turn it on at all. So I told myself, like, or I was like somehow talking to the angels internally that if you do exist, make this phone get turned on, like fix the battery, something like that. So if you can do that, then I will believe that you exist. So I just said this prayer and affirmation, and then I tried turning the phone on, and to my surprise, it turned on and it had full battery. And I was like amazed, like, wow, because I tried so many times before and I couldn't. The battery was spoiled. I couldn't work with it. So it remained on until that whole full bar battery finished. And after that, I couldn't turn it on anymore. So I knew that actually the battery doesn't work, and probably that was an indication that the angels exist. And after some time, like after years of being into spiritual world, I thought to myself, like, why did they actually answer my prayer? Like, who am I that, like, I want to know if angels really exist? Show yourself to me by doing something like extraordinary. But somehow, I don't know, they actually they answered my invocation and showed themselves to me by doing something extraordinary. And that was one of the time that I really believed angels do exist. And after that, I tried to work with angels a lot. Like I remember even in my studies, when I was doing my master's, sometimes I really don't know which book to study or how to write my thesis and so on. So I remember before I even start, I used to sit down and ask for the blessings of angels to guide me, which book to find and everything. And they actually helped me a lot. So with shorter time, I could achieve great results. And then I started to also invoke their help in the healing. So if you have done pranic healing, please refer to your basic book. There is a part about assigning a healing angel. So I remember throughout the session, sometimes, especially in the beginning when I was very new to this, when I was doing healing for cancer, I used to ask for angels' help so that when I'm working on one chakra, they can actually start doing healing on the other chakras. And to my surprise, when I reached to other chakras, I found them much more cleaner than it's supposed to be actually. And another story, I remember one time one of my friends was very tired and he was fasting actually. But he had to go to someone's house to do healing. So he was feeling very weak. And I thought to myself, let me try asking one of the angels to go to my friend and help him in the process of healing without telling him. So I just wanted to see if this works. So I invoked for one of the angels' help, healing angels, to help my friend with his healing. And I didn't share with him about what I did. So after that night, I called him and asked him, how was your healing? He said, you can't believe I was doing healing in the middle of healing that I felt like a cooling breeze and I was feeling super energized. And somehow the healing process was much easier. And then only I shared that I actually invoked for a healing angel to help him. So these and so many more throughout the session, I will also try to share some stories, especially when we reach to group meditation and how to actually use or invoke for angels' helps. I will share more stories, but there are so many stories that I have experienced myself. And I'm sure many of you have had experience with angels. So if you have any experience and you want to share, you may raise your hand if you want to share with a group, or you may just put in the chat so people can read about it also. Okay, so let's continue. Now, where does the name come from? The word angel in English is a blend of Old English, angel, and Old French, angel, both derived from late Latin, angelus, which means messenger, which in turn was borrowed from late Greek. The Torah uses the Hebrew terms Malak, Elohim, messenger of God, which means messenger of God. And in Arabic, they are also called Malak. Hindus use the term Deva. Another related term you may have heard in Theosophy is Dhyan Chohan, Lord of Meditation or Lord of Light. The hierarchies of Dhyan Chohans are said to be beyond humanity in evolution, charged with the growth and development of all nature's kingdoms, including humanity. Now, we will talk about them a little bit later on. So, based on Madame Blavatsky, the whole cosmos is guided, controlled, and animated by an almost endless series of hierarchies of sentient beings, each having a mission to perform, and who, whether we give them one name or another, whether we call them Dhyan Chohas or angels, are messengers, in the sense only that they are agents of karmic and cosmic law. So basically, the universe is full of other beings and who don't have they may not have a physical body, and many of them, each of them have certain tasks to do, and they are actually also in a series of them, from more lower beings to very, very high beings, which we may call them the Anshohans or angels, but they're all messengers and they're all agents of karmic and cosmic law, and they perform many tasks in relation to activities, godly activities. Now, Theosophy affirms that the universe is alive throughout in a unity of being and becoming. All beings from the smallest to the greatest are one in essence. Unity is a fact in heaven and on earth. Yet individuality and diversity prevail equally for galaxies, solar systems, planets, and celestial hierarchies, as well as for embodied creatures. Throughout its vast cosmos, the divine source remains undivided, simply one. Thus, separation anywhere, anytime is impossible and an illusion. Beings who feel and act from a sense of separateness, who struggle against a greater belonging, suffer greatly and cause suffering. So basically, the whole universe is one. We are all connected with each other, and we are all especially the ones here who are pranic healers, mostly we are here pranic healers, we know about the concept of energy. Everything in the universe is energy, and everything follows the rules of and the laws of energy. So therefore, we are not alone here. There are so many beings that are ready to help us. And later we will discuss, we don't need to wait for a very critical situation to ask for help. Even in simply day-to-day, activities, we can ask for help and we will be helped. We will be guided. And we can become actually one of the invisible helpers if we want to. There are certain prerequisites for that. For example, one of them is selflessness, another one is knowledge, and so on. But if we really want to help others, we can become one of the invisible helpers that during sleep life or even using our astral body, we can become a help to other people. That is one of the topics discussed in the book Invisible Helpers that we are going to study in September. Now, two of the archangels are the first ones that were discussed in Christianity. So Daniel is the first biblical figure to refer to individual angels by name, mentioning Gabriel, God's primary messenger, and Michael, the holy fighter. Among the many orders of Christian angels, the Archangel Gabriel is linked with the processes of birth and death, especially for mortals with a high calling. In the familiar telling, Gabriel appears to the Virgin Mary to announce that she will give birth to the Savior. And Gabriel also brings to Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, the words of the Quran. The Archangel Michael is often pictured in battle dress, sometimes engaged in battle with hideous winged beasts. So basically, Archangel Gabriel is mostly connected with being a messenger of God, always bringing good news or giving news about birth, or in this case about Prophet Muhammad, the words of Quran. And Archangel Michael is often known as the protector, who also has been described in helping in stories that someone really was in danger and they were miraculously saved or helped. Okay, thank you for people who are sharing your stories about your communication with angels or incidents that you got help from angels. Thank you. Okay, now angels are also classified in different ranks. Now this, which we are discussing here, and this categorization is based on the book, The Celestial Hierarchy by Areopagite in the 4th or 5th century. So he basically divides the angels into 3 spheres, and each of them having 3 ranks. So starting with the first sphere, the first one that is explained is Seraphim, and known to be the highest rank. Now, what we are discussing here is based on this categorization. So we are not asking you to believe anything, but just listen to it. And maybe at some point we can have some more understanding or some more incident that we may actually come in contact, mostly with angels and maybe archangels, but seraphim are like very, very high in rank. Anyway, we will study because this is also the whole purpose of putting this here is for us to understand that angels are also like human kingdom. They are in different ranks. So in human kingdom, we can have a normal person or a person who is in the probationary path, or a person who is a disciple, or a person who is master or holy master, and so on. So in the angelic kingdom also we have ranks of angels. So they are in different levels. And there is one idea that angels are all born perfect. So based on theosophy, that is not accepted, which we will discuss about it later. Okay, so first sphere, the first group is called Seraphim, based on the book, The Celestial Hierarchy. These angels are closest to God. It is said that such a bright light emanates from them that nothing, not even other angelic beings, can look upon them. The name Seraphim means the burning ones. They praise God, holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. All the earth is filled with his glory. There are 4 of them, based on the book, surrounding God's throne, and their primary mission is to protect the throne. Then still in first sphere, we have cherubim. These angels are the second highest in the 9 hierarchies of angels. Cherubim guard the way to the tree of life, in the Garden of Eden and the throne of God. They are fierce angels. When they come to earth, they have great power of apocalypse nature. They have 4 faces, one of a man, one of an ox, one of a lion, and one of an eagle. So if you have studied Spiritual Essence of Man, or if you joined our previous book studies when we discussed about esoteric astrology, you may know what is this. 4 faces, one of a man, one of an ox, one of a lion, and one of an eagle. It was related to one of the crosses in the book Esoteric Astrology. Still, from the first sphere, the third group are called thrones or elders. Their name literally means throne or highly ornamented chair. They are living symbols of God's justice and authority and dispense God's divine judgment. Then we have the second sphere, which is lower than the first one, dominions. These are the angels of leadership regulating the duties of the lower angels. They are also the angels who preside over nations and give power to heads of government and other authority figures. The dominions are believed to look like divinely beautiful humans with a pair of feathered wings, much like the common representation of angels. Second sphere, next group, which is actually the fifth group, virtues or strongholds. Their primary duty is to supervise the movement of their heavenly bodies and control the elements to ensure that the cosmos remains in order. They govern all nature and perform miracles. And last one from the second sphere, called powers or authorities. These angels are the bearers of conscience and the keepers of history. Their duty is to oversee the distribution of power among humankind, hence their name. They also control the border between heaven and earth. The powers are warrior angels created to be completely loyal to God, who fight against evil. They are the angels of birth and death. And lastly, we have the third sphere, seventh group, principalities. These angels appear to collaborate in power and authority with the powers. Their task is to oversee groups of people. They are in charge of the world's nations, cities, and towns. Their duties include taking charge of religion, politics, and the duties of the angels on earth below them. They are the educators and guardians of the realm of earth, like being related to the world of the germinal ideas. They are said to inspire living things to many things such as art or science. Eighth group is archangels. These angels are the chief angels, guardians of people and all things physical. They appear only in human form. They have the task of being God's messenger to people at critical times of need. Later, when we discuss about archangels, you may have heard the archangels of different directions. So we will discuss about 4 of them also. And lastly, angels that they are discussed throughout the Bible and so many other spiritual books. These are the lowest order of the angels and are sent as messengers to mankind. They are the ones most concerned with the affairs of living things and act as our personal guardian. They deliver prayers to God and God's answers and messages to us. So basically, the reason why we discussed about this is to show that just like human kingdom, this is human kingdom. I think I took this from the book Solar System by Arthur Powell. And the reason to see this again is the same thing. As we have human kingdom, we also have angelic kingdom. And as in the human kingdom, we have different groups, and we have, even for the human, we have from the primitive man to ordinary, to advanced, to disciples, to adepts. Even in the angelic kingdom, we have ranks of angels, levels, from angels to archangels and above. And each of them have different tasks to perform and different responsibilities. Like, for example, if you are in primary school, your only responsibility is to study and go beyond the primary school. When you go to like high school, you have more responsibilities and you can actually now teach the primary school students. And when you go to university, master's degree, PhD, then you become in a position to teach others in the university also, something like that. So as we go higher, our responsibilities increase. Same is with the angels. So they are also in different levels, and based on the level, the responsibility also changes from just, for example, giving guidance or helping human beings to actually performing God's tasks. And if you have studied Greek mythology, like they have many, many gods, they have nature spirits, devas, and they have God of earth, God of fire, God of water, wind, and so on. So all of these are actually different levels of angels, something like that. So the angels are also evolving beings who are growing towards a standard of perfection. They are our fellow citizens upon this planet and in this solar system. We may think of them as our less material beings, born of the same parents, divine in their origin as we are divine, and traveling towards the same goal, which is union with God and perfect manifestation of divine attributes. When Jacob dreamed of a ladder from earth to heaven and the angels of God descending and ascending thereon, he had a true vision of the angelic evolution. So you see angels, and some myth or wrong belief is that angels are born perfect. So based on this, angels are also in different levels, and they are also trying to evolve more and more, and their goal is also union with God and perfect manifestation of divine attributes. Now we will discuss a few things in relation with angels and how we can communicate with them and how we can ask their help. First one is the concept of free will. God gave us and everyone else free will. God won't interfere with our free will, and neither will the angels. So that means if we need help, we need to ask for their help. That's why it says, ask and it shall be given. They won't interfere with the concept of free will. Now you will see that, especially in the book Invisible Helpers, sometimes an invisible helper may see someone in need, so they may actually send certain thoughts to the mind of them or other people to help them come out of that problem. And still is upon the person who is receiving that impressions whether to act upon it or just neglect. So we still have free will. That's why if we ask, the help will be given much more faster. So if we invoke for the help of the angels, even in simple tasks, we will be helped a lot more. And one question is why we should ask for their help, why we should invoke, is because it makes life much more easier. Imagine you do everything yourself alone, or imagine you have an invisible helper to help you, to guide you, to protect you. So it's like walking up the stairs or walking up an escalator. It's much more easier. Now, second thing is their availability to help. So based on Hudson, some people think angels are messengers who come from God to man only on very important occasions. Now, when in Theosophy it says man, it means human, male or female, yeah? So please don't get fixated on man means only male. However, angels are always with us, that they not only come to us on important occasions, but are always within our reach. So this means they are actually available to help whenever we need help, as simple as in our studies, or when we are doing healing, or when you are taking an exam. We can always invoke and ask for their help because they don't only come in important occasions, but they are always with us, within our reach. Now, another important thing is the karmic law. Angels cannot interfere with the karmic law. Now, what does it mean? Let's say you want to win a lottery. So you are praying for God and angels to guide you to pick the right number. Unless you are entitled to win, angels cannot help. So it means something like that. So means, although they are there to help, but if we are in a difficult situation, and if we are in that situation because we have to learn a certain lesson, the angels may not be able to help at that point. But maybe they can help with helping us understand what is the lesson to learn. So they may not be able to help us to completely come out of that challenge or difficult situation, but we may still be able to ask for their guidance to help us. What is the lesson to learn in this situation? What should I learn? What should I do? And once we learn the lesson, then we are in a position to be helped to come out of that situation, because as you already know from the teachings of Master Chua Kok Sui, karma is not fatalistic. Karma is evolutionary in process. So karma is not to punish us, but to teach us the lessons that we need to learn. Okay, so it means even if you're in a very difficult situation, the moment we learn the lesson and we do something to change that situation or to show that we have actually learned, the difficult situation may stop, because the reason for its existence is not to punish us, but to help us evolve faster. Okay, so if based on the karmic law, we have to be in a certain difficult situation because we have to learn a certain lesson, the angels may not be able to help us to come out of it, but they can help us to learn what is the lesson. Now, I share with you some examples. I remember reading in different books that, for example, one of the things that invisible helpers can do in a very difficult situation, let's say a ship which is sinking, for example, or in a near-death situations. So either they are able to help the person to come to, or to be saved from that death situation, but if the karmic law doesn't allow that, means if the person's supposed to die, if that is the time for the person to move on, they cannot help the person to be saved, but they can help the person to feel more calm, more relaxed, and also they can help in the transition process. Okay, because the moment of death is very, very important. When we die, we lose the physical body and our consciousness goes to the astral body, also known as the emotional body. And basically we are moving into the astral world. And the astral world is the world of emotions. So if we are going to that world with so much of fear, anger, stress, or improper knowledge of what we are going to experience, then we are going to create a suffering, environment for ourselves, because emotions are even more experienceable when we go to the astral world. And if you have already done some studies about dying process, or we had one session actually about death and beyond. If you have joined that, you know that during the moment of dying, the death, purging happens and the astral body rearranges itself. So all of this, if the knowledge is given, can be prevented. So if the angels cannot help the person, or if the invisible helpers cannot help the person to be saved from that death situation, what they can do at least is to help the person to be calm, composed, relaxed, and help in the transition process to the afterlife. That would save a lot of suffering. Okay, so means even if you're in a very difficult situation, it's our karma to be there because we need to learn a lesson, we can still ask for angels' help because we never know. Maybe we have already experienced enough and that's the time to come out of that difficult situation. If that's the case, very good. The invisible helpers can help us to come out of it. But if not yet, we still have to learn certain lessons because of that situation. What the angels can do at least, or invisible helpers can do, is to help us and guide us to understand what is the lesson to be learned so that that difficult situation can finish much more faster. Okay, question. Do you need karmic entitlement to receive karmic help? The answer is actually yes. Everything is connected with karma. Karma is like a huge bank. So if you want to withdraw, you need to have something to withdraw. Even if you want to grow spiritually, you need to be entitled. Even if you want to do volunteer work, as simple as that, we need to be entitled. Even if we want to be helped, we need to be entitled to be helped. But that shouldn't create fear and doubt that then I may not be helped at all. Okay, we know how to create good karma. We are so lucky to be in pranic healing school, especially for many of you who have already practiced pranic healing, or if you are in the spiritual path. So we are lucky at least to know about the energy world, to know about the rules, the laws of evolution, about karma, about service, tithing. So we know that whatever we want to receive is what we need to give first. So especially if you are doing a lot of service and tithing, service means allocating some amount of effort and time to help other people, and tithing or donation means to allocate some amount of money to help other people. So if we are actually ready to do this all the time, then we are becoming entitled to be helped. And a very, very simple way of becoming entitled is to do regular meditation on twin hearts, because meditation on twin hearts is actually to becoming a channel to bless every person, every being on earth with peace, with joy, happiness. Not only we personally benefit, but by doing this great act of service, we also become entitled to be helped. So that's why there is a quote by Master Shua Sui that when you do regular twin hearts, I cannot recall the exact quote, but the meaning is, if you do regular twin hearts, you may notice that in difficult situation, you will be helped also. And I have personally experienced that. But when you do a lot of it, okay, let me share with you this one. Many years ago, before I even do pranic healing, I started my spiritual journey, I think 1 year before I joined pranic healing. And then it was because of a mild depression. And when I went to spirituality, I really jumped inside and I was doing so many things. I did so many different techniques and schools and workshops. And one of them was astrology. And I remember in astrology, we actually study the chart and we calculate. It's a fantastic knowledge, and you can calculate everything. So some of the things that happened in my past, it was actually showing in the chart. And so based on the chart, I noticed that certain difficult situations are going to happen to my life. So, and one of them was 1 year later, that when I was doing the chart, 1 year after that, and it was in relation to my boyfriend that time, that one lady would come in between and create some relationship problem, something like that. So it was connected with relationship problem. Initially, I was super sad and stressed, but that was the time that I learned pranic healing. So I did my basic, advanced, everything until Arhatic within a very short period of time. So after I did my courses, then my attitude actually was changing. So I thought, instead of waiting for this incident to happen, and instead of having a lot of fear and sadness and so on, let me do something about it. So what I started to do is, if you have done Achieving Oneness with a Higher Soul, there is a relationship healing, Atma Namaste for improving relationship in a soul level. So I started to do that with my boyfriend at that time, and with this lady. I didn't know who is this lady initially, yeah. So I remember we both started working in certain company, and there was one person working in that company. The moment I saw her, something in my head was telling me this is the person. So anyway, I started to do that with this person also, and I saw that she's doing certain things. So I started to do this with her, and I was trying to also create some good karma in relation to relationships. I was blessing whoever having relationship problem and donating to some people who want to get married, but they don't have enough money. So whatever at that time coming to my mind creatively that this could help, I was doing. And interestingly, that incident happened, but it was scaled down so much that it was not bothering that much. And when that happened, at that moment, at that time, actually, this lady also did something wrong in the company and got fired. It was not because of me. I didn't really send any negative thought to her, but she did something which was wrong. It was somehow like stealing from the company also. So the company fired her, and the whole thing finished. And I was like, wow, because whatever previously was in the chart actually happened. But after I learned about the spiritual path, and after I learned about how to create good karma and how to change your consciousness instead of waiting for the difficult situation to happen and being scared about it, to do something, to change the energy, to change the karma. And I could see that because later on, when I studied karma in detail, I realized that when there is a negative karma is about to get matured, you cannot remove it completely, but you can scale it down to a degree that it doesn't bother you anymore. Like an earthquake at scale of 7 could be scaled down to a scale of 2, which doesn't bother anyone, something like that. So if you know what are the lessons you need to learn and how you know, one of the ways is to look at your life. What are the challenges you are facing? What are the repeated patterns you are experiencing? There is one talk next week about how to stop unwanted repeated patterns in Beyond the Mind. So if you're interested more about that, you can actually join the talk. So we can do something about our life. We have a lot of power. So just because we are not karmically entitled doesn't mean that we have to suffer. We know a lot of skills and knowledge and techniques to actually create good karma in relation to what we need to learn, in relation to what challenge we are facing. Okay, so please try to be creative. Think what you can do. For example, if you are having relationship problems, what are the things you can do? First of all is love. You need to increase the love in your relationship. Second, you can bless all the people who have relationship problems. You can also bless the ones who don't have a partner. What else? You can give money to people who want to get married and so on, but they don't have enough money to do that. What else? There are so many ways you can help people. So you can easily make yourself entitled. So please don't worry so much about this, but we need to discuss it because just because we are asking angels doesn't mean that the wish is granted. We need to be karmically entitled also. Okay, so let's continue. Now, how they look. Angels differ from ourselves in many characteristics, the chief of which is that they do not have a physical body and are therefore normally invisible to us. The matter of which their bodies are formed is more subtle than that which forms our own. So the matter which forms our body is more coarse. That's what we have a physical body, but the matter which forms their body is more subtle. So they are invisible to us and they don't have a physical form. Its vibrations are beyond the visible spectrum and therefore our eyes cannot respond to them. So we cannot see them with naked eyes. The various kingdoms of nature are their field of evolution. We find them in the woods, by the flowers of the meadow and the garden, in water, in air, in fire, in earth, as well as associated with the metals and jewels of the mineral kingdom. Wherever the divine life is manifest, there are God's fairy children, the nature spirits, and their elder brothers, the angels, who are shining and beautiful embodiments of his life. I remember one of the sharings by Master Faith during World Pranic Healing. There was a World Pranic Healing celebration 30 years or 15 years, I cannot remember. There was a World Pranic Healing celebration in Bangalore, if you remember. And there was a sharing by Master Faith about clairvoyancy. And I remember she shared that she can see these small nature spirits even on sitting on the leaves of trees. And unfortunately, trees that are in polluted parts of the city, because of pollution, some of these nature spirits, they don't stay and they go. But if you go to a jungle or a farm or outside the city, they are actually in nature. So we have from nature spirits to angels, archangels, and so on. There are like ranks and levels of them with different responsibilities. So although they have no physical body, they certainly have a bodily existence. Their forms, however, are creations of light, or rather of material which is self-luminous. For every atom of their bodies, as also of the world in which they dwell, is a glowing particle of light. The form they use closely resembles our own, is in fact built upon the same model as the human form. So maybe that's why when a clairvoyant see them or in art, they are shown as having physical form. But they actually are not physical and they are like vortices of, they have centers and vortices of energy. The appearance of the angels is always remarkable to human vision on account of their continual play of energy in and through their bodies and their glowing auras. They may be thought of as agents for or even engineers of the fundamental forces of nature. The powers which they control and manipulate are continually radiating from them, producing as they flow a continuous appearance of miniature northern lights. Distinct fourth centers, vortices, and certain clearly defined lines of force are visible in their bodies. And in the auric discharge, definite forms are produced, which sometimes suggest a crown upon the head or outspread wings of brilliant and ever-changing hues. Okay, so because of this movement of energy and because of the vortices and all these lines of energy, sometimes they are shown as halo, having halo around the head and also wings at the back, but actually they are just energy beings. So if you look at the photo of the angel, healing angel in the cover of Miracles Through Pranic Healing book, you will see that. So you see there are like rays of light coming out and energy going in, going out. There are like lines of energy vortices of energy centers, and energy flows in and out. So basically, that is how a healing angel look like based on clairvoyant observation, which is included on the cover of the book. But because of these shapes that energy movements create, sometimes they are shown with a wing or they are shown with a halo and so on, but they don't have a physical form as we know. Okay, now, contrary to the popular Christian notion that angels are created conscious, intelligent, and perfect by God, Theosophy maintains that knowledge, intelligence, and consciousness is something which has to be acquired. It cannot just be given to someone. To do so would be to contravene the entire law of evolution. Okay, so there is one belief, as we said, that angels are born as perfected ones, but based on Theosophy teachings, this could not be because the whole universe is evolving. Angels are also evolving, and they are also in different levels. And as Madame Blavatsky says, as the doctrine teaches, there are no such privileged beings in the universe, whether in our or in other systems, in the outer or the inner worlds, as the angels of the Western religion. Dhyan Chauhan has to become one. He cannot be born or appear suddenly on the plane of life as a full-blown angel. So means even angels have their own evolution, going from angels to archangels to Dhyan Chauhan, something like that. As in human kingdom, we also have evolution. So we evolve from a person who is not in the spiritual path to a person in the probationary path to a disciple and adept, something like that. And the whole cosmos is guided, controlled, and animated by an almost endless series of hierarchies of sentient beings, each having a mission to perform, and who, whether we give them one name or another, whether we call them Dhyan Chauhans or angels, are messengers, in the sense only that they are agents of karmic and cosmic law. So basically, each of them have certain responsibilities. So mostly the angels or archangels, when we ask for guidance and help us. The higher ones are mostly connected with some more important work than just guiding one human being, for example. Question, does healing angels bless us with divine light? It depends what we are asking for. Like during the healing, if you ask for healing angels for healing, then they will actually improve the quality of energy and the chakras and so on. So they help in the process of healing. And again, if you refer to your basic Pranic book, there is a way how to assign an angel. So let's say you have done your healing and it's finished, you can assign an angel to continue doing healing on the person until complete healing happens, something like that. But sometimes you need guidance. So like the solution is in front of your eyes, but you cannot see it. So you can ask for angels help and guidance to help you find the solution to your problem. Sometimes you need help with relationship, for example. So you can ask angels with the relationship to help you in your relationship. So how they help depends on what help you need. You know, how can we contact angels? First of all, through talking. So you can speak your request. So like you can just invoke like angels or Lord God, thank you for assigning angels to help me with this study or with my exam and so on. or you can just mentally ask. So you remember that story I shared about the battery of the cell phone was this one. So I was not actually saying, but in my mind, I was affirming and asking that if you do exist, please help and please show yourself to me by fixing this cell phone so I can turn it on. You may write, pour your heart out in a letter, like you may write what you want to be helped with. You may visualize, or you may affirm. Say an affirmation of gratitude, thanking the angels for resolving the issue. And if you notice how Master Chokuksui starts his prayers, is always starting with a thank you. Because when you start your prayer with a thank you, it's like you have already, there is an element of faith in it. It's like you have already been given what you asked for, and now you are thanking. But if you say like, God, please, 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 can you do this for me? There is an element of desperation in it. It's like, please help me, but you are not sure if you will be helped. But if you say like, Lord God or angels, thank you for helping me with this, there is an element of faith, conviction that you are already being helped or given what you ask. Now you are just thanking. You are thanking for it. Okay, so basically the words you use are unimportant. It doesn't matter whether you talk or you think or you write or visualize, affirm. As angels respond to the prayer of your heart. But what is important is we need to do it full-heartedly. We need to be genuine, genuinely asking for help. Like you may notice many people who share about their stories that they were saved, they were helped, they were protected or guided, were the moments that they were really struggling or they were like desperate, they were in a moment of death or accident or something like that. So when you are in a very difficult situation or dangerous situation, we really pray and invoke from the heart. So because it's like full-heartedly, the answer come faster also. But if we just like ask and we are not even sure if we want it or not, like I want to be rich, but one person asks you what do you need to be rich? How much? We don't know. Or we just ask and we forget because it's not so important. And maybe the help will not come as fast also. And another thing is, it's hard for angels to come down to the level that we are, okay? It's easier for us to ascend to their level. So what does it mean? It means if you want to attract angels in your life, you want to attract invisible helpers, we need to prepare our body. Means we need to purify our body. We need to purify ourselves physically, etherically, emotionally, mentally. The emotions we create should be like loving, happy, because that is the sort of vibration and energy that they like, they respond to. And when we are in that, in that situation, we are also more receptive to receive. Like I remember reading a lot of these stories about how invisible helpers were sent to help some people. And for example, in one situation, they wanted to impress in the mind of a certain person that what this person needs to do. But because the person was so occupied with fear and worry and anger and so on, the person could not get the message. Or in another story, they appeared in the dream and gave a certain dream 3 times, but the person was still not sure and thinking, I'm not sure if I should do this. Should I go? Like the story was, there was this person who passed away and a father of 2 children, if I'm not mistaken. This book is also by Leadbeater. father of 2 children, passed away, and he was really suffering in the other world, and he was like earthbound soul because he was very worried about the 2 children that he left behind. He was worried about their life because he didn't really put enough money for them, and their mother already passed away before him also. And the landlady with whom these 2 children were thinking of um, giving these 2 children to orphanage because they couldn't also take care of them. So this person was really, really suffering. So one invisible helper was sent to help this person. So in the inner world, they had a communication, and this person said that he has no relative, only one brother who lives in another city, but it's 15 years that he doesn't know about the brother. So they, with difficulty, they tried to locate the brother, that city, and somehow found the brother, and the brother was a carpenter. And so during the dream, this invisible helper tried to create this mental image and this message that this person has passed away and the 2 children need help, with all the names and everything. And this person actually was ready to receive. Now, so many people are so occupied with so many thoughts and inner noise that may not be actually ready to receive the message. Now, this person was ready to receive and actually got the message, but he was not sure whether this is a true message or not. And he was thinking he's so busy with work, he doesn't want to actually spend one day, go to that other town and find out that the story was not actually accurate. So this invisible helper had to impress another person to write a letter to this brother and explain what happened. And then only because the brother had the dream 3 times and the letter also came, the brother actually did something, went to the town and got the 2 children. So you see so much of trouble just because the person was not ready to get the message. So when we ask for help, we also need to be ready to receive the help. So if you're asking for guidance, we also need to make ourselves ready to receive the guidance, because sometimes the brain is not able to receive. Sometimes the guidance comes as a message, as a movie, as a word in a book or something. So we need to be ready and look at every message trying to receive. Otherwise, it's harder for the angels actually and invisible helpers to help us. But help is there, not only angels as we discussed, but also there are so many other invisible helpers, and many of them are students of masters who are there to help. So they're always there to help, but we need to also we need to ask and we need to be ready to receive, especially if we ask full-heartedly. As Jasmine says, ask while crying, get answers fast too. Yes, when the important thing is to ask full-heartedly, not like with no care. Okay, I remember one more story. There was this guy from Afghanistan many years ago who is a doctor, who learned how to be a doctor, and he studied that. He came to Malaysia to continue his studies, but somehow his grant was not given from his country, his government, and therefore he had to go back. So actually he was thinking all this money he spent to come here and stay here for his higher studies to happen was a waste. So according to him, one time he was moving towards an LRT train station. So he really was asking God and all the angels, higher beings, like, why I came here? Was there a purpose for me to come here? And he said the moment he asked this, there was a child with the parents beside him, and the child with so much excitement said, yes. And this yes was like really he took it as for him, the message for him, because it was like really influenced him the way the child said yes immediately after he asked, is there a purpose for me to come here? Apparently, during that week, he met someone who knew about pranic healing, and then this person brought him to the pranic healing center to just experience healing. He was so in love with pranic healing. He did basic advanced psychotherapy very fast. And after 2 months or 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, he also did some practices here with the group. After 3 months or so, he went back to Afghanistan. And I remember receiving messages from him asking me like, what should I do with this case, with that case? This person is psychologically affected and so on. And according to him, many of the people who went to him in Afghanistan had a lot of physical ailments, very severe ones, because of being psychologically affected. And most of the doctors who don't know about energy, chakras, thoughts, emotions, could not really help them. But because he learned basic advanced and psychotherapy, and the practices he did here gave him that extra knowledge to be able to help much more people. I don't know now what happened to him. I hope he is fine with the things happening there. But the reason that he came here could be to learn those basic advanced psychotherapy, those skills, and go back to his country and become a service to a great group of people, because many of them really, really needed help. And he was super busy because most of the people go to him, not only he could heal or treat medically, but also because of his energy knowledge, he could help much, much more deeper. So when we ask, we need to also be aware and be mindful of the messages that are given. Sometimes the message is given, but our brain cannot register. After a few days, when we see something or read something, the message gets delivered. So we need to be ready to receive. Now, one example, and not only asking angels help, but also even praying and creating a strong will and thought form to help the persons that we want to help already starts the process of healing. Okay, now example of how we can help people. If we see a person depressed and we wish with all our heart to drive away the dark cloud and to see the light of happiness shine out in him or her once more, we may think first of courage and joy, invoking these qualities from within the sufferer. We may will very strongly that the dark cloud shall be removed and be replaced by joy. Then we may invoke the angels of light and power to charge him with their radiant energy until he is full of light and happiness, and to remain after we have ceased our prayers, sweeping away depression and thereby enabling the light of his or her own divinity to shine through him or her once more. In this way, the sufferer may be filled with courage, peace, and joy. So means, let's say you know someone and you want to help the person come out of that situation. First thing is you may create that thought form of joy, happiness, and will strongly that this dark cloud of depression will be removed and replaced by joy. And then invoke the angels of light and power to charge this person with radiant energy until the person is full of light and happiness. Something like that. Okay, now before we continue, shall we do an experiment? Let's see how it works. So I will just play a mantra in the background because it will help to raise the vibration. And what we want to do is to close the eyes. So you all close your eyes. We will say a short prayer invocation, and then we will invoke for the blessings of angels to help healing one thing that we are having problem with. So if you have some pain or ache in your physical body, you can ask for physical healing. If you have some emotional problems, fears, stress, and so on, you can ask for that. If you have a weakness that you want to eradicate, you may ask for that. If you don't have any issues, you may try asking healing for someone else. But for the sake of practice and experiment, it's good that you ask for yourself, and later we share in the chat how you feel, okay? And later, the same process you can do with your friends. Actually, it's better you refer to the basic book, because we are not doing as per the basic book. We are just simply asking for divine healing. But if you are a pranic healer, after you do your healing, you can always invoke for God to assign angels for your patients also. Okay, so just please give me a moment to play Om Mani Padme Hum as a background mantra. You may meanwhile close your eyes, relax.
We will chant the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, the mantra of compassion and mercy.
Okay, so please close your eyes.
Om
Inhale and exhale slowly and deeply. Relax your body.
Padme
Calm your mind. Calm your emotions. Be at your most receptive state. Mentally, let's ask for divine blessings to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to our spiritual teacher, to Grandmaster Chua Koksui, Lord Mahaguruji Meling, all the great ones, all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers. Thank you so much for all of your priceless blessings. Thank you for helping us in this experiment to experience the healing energy of angels, the healing blessings of angels, and the healing power of angels. Thank you for guiding this process, and thank you for helping us to do this practice and experience the power of angels. Thank you in full faith. Now relax your body. Keep your eyes closed. We will say a prayer mentally. While we are doing this, just be aware of your body, be aware of your thoughts and emotions, your whole body, your whole system, and let go. See how you feel. Mentally say, I am super receptive and super conductive to all these healing energies. I fully and willingly accept all these healing energies with thanks and in full faith. Relax and let go. Allow this healing energy, allow all these healing angels to heal any part of your body, your system that requires healing. Let's say a Thanksgiving prayer to the Supreme God, to all the assigned angels, and healing ministers. Thank you so much for your great, great contribution. Thank you so much for your healing energy. Thank you in full faith. And when you are comfortable, gently open your eyes with a big, big smile. So how do you feel? Anybody felt anything or experienced anything you want to share in the chat? Please put. For some of you, the energy may still be working, and after some time you may feel some difference or complete relief. But if you have experienced anything that you like to share, would be very happy if you share it in the group for everybody to read. And because sharing experiences not only help to make other people, especially the ones who may be a bit skeptic about it, to understand and to affirm that there is actually a benefit or influence, but also for some people who had similar experiences, but the brain could not register. When you share something similar, it may help them, their brain to actually, pick up the message, something like that. Arjuna activated and then small visions came. Fantastic, beautiful, very good. If anything else, please keep putting in the chat. So this is something we can do. One of the things I experienced, feel a downpour of energy, vibration in my crown and toes. Fantastic, thank you for sharing. One time, usually during these times, I have experienced being helped by angels for doing healing, is when we are trying to spread spirituality, we are trying to be an element of service for humanity by, let's say, doing an intro talk about pranic healing, about twin hearts meditation, about spirituality or spreading the work to other countries. Like one example is when we are giving intro talk to a group of people, we are introducing about the world of energy and about, for example, pranic healing. So usually at the end of the session, after the talk, we ask who wants to volunteer to experience the healing. So whoever has like a mild pain, please volunteer. So some people raise the hand and some look very enthusiastic. And then you ask them, okay, how long do you have this pain? Like they say 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And then you think like, oh my God, I asked for a simple one because during that intro talk, we just want to do it for a short period of time, only on the affected part for people to see that healing actually works. But something which is more chronic and it's severe, it's there for like 10 years, 15 years, of course needs a lot more cleansing and also needs not only cleaning that specific part, but many other chakras. So anyway, when the person comes on the stage, we cannot ask them, okay, go back. So what we do is we ask and invoke for God and the spiritual teacher, Master Travuxi, and all the angels, healing ministers to help. And miraculously, within like 5 minutes of just cleaning that part, the person feels tremendous relief, like sometimes 90%, 80%. And when I think to myself, like doing healing for this case on a normal basis, on a normal occasion, needs at least half an hour of healing and a lot more effort. But when we do it for the sake of service, spreading spirituality, spreading pranic healing, helping to manifest the divine plan, when we make ourselves an instrument of the divine, then angels, higher beings are actually much more ready to help because now we are actually doing their work. So they work through us. And we have had so many experiences like that. So basically, if you are trying to do some work for the divine to help the divine plan materialize, you may notice that you are helped beyond your own capabilities. So that's why there's a quote by Master Chuakoksui that your limitations are not the limitation of God or the higher beings. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Let's see the chat. Okay, can you throw some light on angel numbers? So there are saying that if you see like repeated numbers, they mean angels. But personally, that is up to you because for some of us, certain things are in our mind related or we believe in that. So because when angels are working with us or they want to give us a certain message, they try to use our thoughts and beliefs also to help us understand certain things. So if that is one of your beliefs that if I see repeated numbers means angel is communicating with me, maybe if the angel wants to give you a message, they use that method to make you understand. But for me personally, that is not only the case, and usually I don't experience them that way. It's usually more practical, like when we ask for healing, you actually feel or you see the effect of healing. Sometimes we see the angels during the meditation, or sometimes when we invoke for angels during the healing, the patient could see them. I remember cases that the patient said they could see an angel standing behind us and helping in the healing. That's why also I remember Master Faith sharing that one time she saw Grandmaster Chokoksui doing healing on someone and the person miraculously healed. And then she told him, fantastic master, this person healed. And master said, we did the healing. And then she was thinking, I saw Master was alone. How come he's saying, like, how come you are saying we did the healing? And then Master Chirakoksui said, like, because I was not alone, I was being helped. So sometimes angels have been seen by the patient also based on my own experience. And many times and based on what we have experienced, they are seen in different colors also. Like, for example, the healing angel that was standing behind the healer who was doing the healing was seen in green color. I myself have seen like white color, or different colors like that. So based on the duty, the function, the responsibility they are having, they may be in different colors also. Okay, now. I remember one time we were in a retreat and we were doing group meditation. So during the meditation, I saw that the venue is actually much more bigger, and we were, after the rows of meditators, I saw rows of angels standing and meditating with us. They were all in white color in that vision, but they were in different heights. I saw from lower heights angels to very, very high, like very, very tall angels standing in rows, participating in the meditation. Okay, so Monica saying, Hardev saying, feeling balanced and relaxed. Another Monica is saying, I've experienced seeing healing angel before, but I didn't know it was a healing angel. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, another one in the chat. Miranda saying, when invoking the angels, instantly saw felt with eyes closed, surrounding more bright, feeling nice flow of energy through my body. Maybe the divine energy flow, heart opening up. I felt faith. Fantastic. Yes, felt cool and was able to feel the process of letting go. Fantastic. So we see a lot of sharings there. Emma saying, sometimes when I do healing and especially closed eyes, a white light from corner of my eyes, like a spark. Okay, thank you so much everyone for sharing. Lisa has also shared one experience with angels. Thank you so much everyone for sharing your experiences. Now, group meditation is always the most effective way of achieving these ends. Those who are one-pointed and united in their aspiration to serve by these methods may well form groups for this special purpose. Seated in a circle, they should direct their thoughts to harmony and unity until they feel themselves and their angel co-workers to be one. By Hudson. So this is one example, like I just shared one example about the retreat, that when we were doing Twin Hearts meditation as a group, I saw groups of angels standing behind us in different heights. All of them were brilliant white color, joining in the meditation, which was an amazing experience. And Master Choa also has said, when you gather together in a group, the higher beings are forced to appear. So group meditation can be a fantastic way also to direct our energies to different parts of the world, especially the parts that really, really need help. Tomorrow is a full moon, one of the fantastic timing to do this. There will be a video of Master Chirakoksui released by the Institute for Inner Studies. So please try to join the group that you are with and do the meditation together, direct the energies to all these places that currently need a lot of help, and the whole world, because the whole world is also affected by the pandemic. And there are so many stories about this also. I remember 6 months I was living in Philippines, and I remember they were jokingly saying that Philippines usually has a lot of hurricanes or rains and so on, flood. So usually when they hear a hurricane is coming, they immediately gather groups of people, they inform everybody to do meditation at a certain time, and they bless the whole country for that hurricane to like slow down and calm down and release, like stop. And they were joking that everybody in the Philippines thinks that the weather forecast is wrong. And one of the reasons could be they were saying that because the moment they hear this hurricane is about to come, they gather the group, they start blessing that area and the whole country. And the hurricane doesn't stay long. Maybe it starts and immediately disappear or calm down and slow down to a great extent. So that's why everyone jokes that what weather forecast is not accurate. could be one of the result of group meditation. And especially, as we said, when you gather in a group, together in a group with a selfless intention in mind to help a city, a country, or the whole world, higher beings, invisible helpers, angels will be forced to appear, will actually come to our help and work with us to help others. Okay, now we discussed about 4 archangels of the 4 directions. Now, there is a fantastic meditation, archangel meditation recited by Master Nona. I really recommend you to purchase that, or if you have a group to practice with it. It's a fantastic meditation. Many of us had fantastic experiences also during this meditation. And in this meditation, 4 archangels are invoked. So we will discuss about those 4, and then we will see if any questions in the chat box, and then we will finish the session. So the first one is Archangel Gabriel. Among the many orders of Christian angels, Archangel Gabriel is linked with the processes of birth and death, especially for mortals with a high calling, known as Archangel to bring good news, messenger, being a messenger of God, always bringing good news, connected to north direction, and the keyword is communication and expression. Next is Archangel Michael, often pictured in battle dress, sometimes engaged in battle with hideous winged beasts. His angel legions surround him in a mighty effort to slay the elemental horde. So often shown in a battlefield, known for protection, connected to south direction, keyword is protection, guidance, and strength. So especially if you are in need for protection, Archangel Michael is one of the archangels that you can ask for help. Now, you can always generally ask for the help of angels, which is fine. But if you know which archangel is connected with what activity, it is always good to ask for the help of that archangel or that angel. For example, for a healing task, you can always ask for Archangel Raphael or healing angels, instead of just saying, angels, please help me with healing. Now, why? We said we need to ask to be given, right? And each of these angels have certain specific responsibilities. Now, let's say we are sitting as a group, and for example, one person in the group's name is Sarah. Just an example. So let's say I'm really thirsty and I want water. So if I just ask vaguely in general, can someone please bring me water? So everybody else in the group may hesitate a bit, wait and see who will go to help to bring water. And then at some point, one person stand up and go and bring water. But if I see Sarah is sitting beside water, then I look at Sarah and say, Sarah, can you please give me a glass of water? It's much more faster and easier. So Sarah is beside water and I'm calling the name. So Sarah knows that I'm asking Sarah for help. Something like that. So when we know exactly which archangel to help, or If you don't know which archangel, you can just say like healing angels or angels of protection or angels of prosperity, for example, in relation to what you are asking. That may help. Okay, try and see. So Madame Blavatsky notes that the archangels Gabriel and Michael correspond to the Hebrew Elohim and to certain orders of Dhyan Chohans. These Dhyanis are said to watch over and guide humanity's great evolutionary journey, an awakening of full spiritual consciousness through many successive stages. Next one, Archangel Uriel. In the book of Enoch, Uriel, the light of God, is one of the archangels who protected humankind from the Watchers, a group of fallen angels. Uriel illuminates our minds with information, ideas, epiphanies, and insights. Connected to East direction, keyword is transformation and illumination. So let's say you are in a difficult situation, you want to ask for help, for guidance, so that you know what to do in a certain situation, you can ask Archangel Uriel for help. And so if you want an answer, for example. And the last one, Archangel Raphael. Raphael in Hebrew means God heals. He is an archangel of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam who performs all manners of healing connected to West direction. Keyword, physical, mental, and emotional healing. Now, interestingly, if you study like Vastu Shastra, for example, you will see that in Vastu Shastra, each direction also is connected with a Lord. They call it Lord of Direction or God of that direction with a small g. Let's say Lord of that direction. And it's interestingly, the quality which is described to the Lord of that direction is very much similar to the responsibility of the archangel that we discussed here. And each of them has a specific color also. If you want more detail, you can join Master Chakoksu's Feng Shui workshop, and there the colors of each direction is discussed and the quality of the energy coming from that direction, which is connected with the archangel or lord of that direction. In my master's degree, I studied this a lot, and we did some experiment with a machine to check the energy level of the body when the person sits in different directions. And in my PhD actually, yeah. And interestingly, sitting towards a certain direction for some time create a certain effect on the aura and the chakras and the energy. Based on the energy, the color of the energy and the quality of the energy coming from that direction, which is connected with the archangel or the lord of that direction also. Very interesting. Okay, so we are never alone as individuals or a collective humanity. The hierarchy of compassion is always near, ever vigilant, able to intervene when karmic law permits. So we can always ask when you are in a very, very difficult situation, when you are in dangerous situation or near death experience or so on, please don't panic. Know that help is all around. We just need to ask and be ready to receive. Now, whether if let's say a near death situation, whether the karmic law allows and we may be safe, or even if the karmic law doesn't permit, we at least can be helped, soothed, and transferred to the inner world in a more, in a more calm and prepared way to avoid a lot of suffering in the other world. There are so many stories about that. So we are going to study a book called Invisible Helpers in September. Please stay tuned to get the details of the book and how to register. It's again by donation of any amount you want. And we will post it soon on Prana World social media. And there we discussed that not only angels are there to help us, but there are so many other invisible helpers. We will discuss all of them. And as part of the book, there are so many stories about such. And also, if you want to be one of them, how you can make yourself prepared to be one of the invisible helpers. And what are the dangers and so on if you have questions, like if I go in a fire scene to help someone, what is the danger that may happen to me as a helper? All of these are part of the book that we are going to read and study. And next week, we are going also to have another session like this for karmic relationships. So if your question is why I was born in this family, why I got married to this person, and why I know this person is not good for me, I still got married to this person and I suffered so much, and all of this, why I have this brother, this friend, this coworker, and all of these karmic relationships. Or in the other hand, why I'm with this person that I love so much and this person helped me so much in different aspects. Whenever I need help, they appear. All of this is part of next week's session when we talk about karmic relationships. So it's exactly like how you registered today. We will send you the Zoom link and the details soon. Okay, now let's read the questions and then we will finish the session. Okay, May, when should we ask our higher soul or spiritual teacher and angel for help? I mean, which of them should we ask for what? Are there things better to ask our spiritual teacher than an angel, or is it better to just always ask the help from an angel rather than from our spiritual teacher or higher soul? Okay, as we discussed in this session, actually, many times that we ask for help, we are helped by others, not angels. Angels are also there to help, and in many occasions they help, but angels, if you saw initially, we have many range of angels, and many of them are actually occupied by much more greater work and responsibility towards humanity, planet, the whole system, rather than helping us. So in many cases, when we ask for help, a student of a teacher may help, one invisible helper may come. Sometimes the guidance comes from the higher soul or the spiritual teacher. So it doesn't matter. You can always, what I do is I ask for everyone. And when I ask for angels also, I will ask like, Lord God, thank you for assigning an angel. And so the prayer, if you look at how Master Chokokswi's prayer is, I always put him as my role model on doing how to do things. So the way that prayer goes is always, all of them are included, like starting it to the Supreme God, to my spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. Thank you for what you need. Thank you for divine light, divine love, divine guidance, help, protection, healing. Then you can add whatever you need. One suggestion. Okay, question. Can you please repeat the name of the meditation in which you invoked for angels? There is a meditation recited by Master Nona. Its name is the Archangel Meditation. Oh, thank you so much. Someone has put it down there. Yes, Archangel Meditation by Master Nona. Fantastic meditation. Her voice is so soothing and loving and calming. And in that meditation, it actually invoked for, we sit in towards the east direction, and then we invoke each of these archangels of the direction for a specific help related to their responsibility. Like when you ask Archangel Uriel, you ask for guidance. When you ask from east direction. Then you are focused towards west, you ask for Archangel Raphael for healing. And then you ask Archangel Michael for protection and so on. So it's a very fantastic meditation. Okay, let's read the other chat. My mom been following the Archangel meditation every Wednesday. Today she asked me why does she cry every time the meditation reach Archangel Michael. Okay, Archangel Michael also helps, based on my understanding, also helps in the process of purification. Okay, now again, if you study pranic feng shui and you know about the colors and so on, you may notice, you may get some insight. So based on my understanding, when we say Archangel Michael fights the beasts and so on, it's also to disintegrate certain lower tendencies, lower thoughts, energies, and so on. So it's like help in the process of purification. So it's possible that because of the purification, she feels like release and crying. Maybe that is what I may think of. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We really hope you enjoyed the session about angels, and we really hope that this session could be a start of asking angels for help whenever you need. And as we discussed, you don't need to wait for a very, very critical situation to ask angels and invisible helpers to help you, but you can actually ask anytime you need help, even in your project, in your studies, in your healing, with success at work and so on. They are always there to help, especially in very, very difficult situations. Please don't lose help. As we know, the angels are always there. We are not alone. And the hierarchy of compassion is always near, ever vigilant, able to intervene when karmic law permits. So even if you are not able to be helped completely, but we may be able to help with guidance or with something actually to help us calm down, or with healing and so on. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can continue asking us in social media, in Instagram or Facebook of Pranawal, and please wait for the details of the next session about karmic relationships, and also the book Invisible Helpers. Fantastic book, a lot of interesting stories, and a lot of questions that you may have about who are these invisible helpers, how we can be one, and so on is there also. So let me stop sharing. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic night, and especially at this point when everybody really, really need help, please try to gather in groups, even though virtually, and we can continue doing meditation on twin hearts. Bless all these areas that need help, and angels, higher beings, invisible helpers will be there to help us. Thank you. Namaste. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye.